TCDA stock, Tricida Inc. So it's been over a month since the company disclosed the news that its drug didn't meet its primary endpoint, and the stock plunged from around $10 or thereabouts all the way down to 0.61 dollars. That was the price it closed at. And note, before that time, the stock was in a strong bullish trend. You can see the underlying trend here, this orange line. It was in a strong bullish trend, and see what has happened since that time. This underlying trend, normally this 200-day moving average, normally it doesn't. It takes a long time. You can imagine. You would need. It tracks the data over 200 trading sessions. So you can imagine that for this line to move, to shift, something remarkable, something seismic must have happened, and that is definitely what has happened. Since that time, it has lost 50% of its value. As such, it has started to influence this line that normally shouldn't be shifting. So within 1 month, it has definitely shifted. Normally, if it were a retracement, that wasn't as huge as anything as what it was like. That wasn't as huge as this 50 times depreciation. You would see something. You still see it looking, slightly bullish, or at least still trending upwards, still trending bullishly upwards. But this huge plunge has affected the stock and has affected the underlying trend of the stock. So, but in any case, we know that the company has disclosed a few things. Their earnings outcomes was disclosed, and they're saying that that the board of the company has authorized Tricida to conduct a thorough review of strategic options in order to maximize value for its stakeholders. Tricida has engaged Stifel and its wholly owned affiliate Buckfire to serve as investment banking advisors and Serial Constellation Partners LLC as financial advisor. So yes, I think they are looking at various options, including maybe selling the company and selling its assets. And you may ask, this is a company that is strictly has one. I mean, there's no pipeline there. It's just strictly this metabolic acidosis and CKD that they were focused on. And investors, we know that the investors involved in this company are not just minor companies, Vanguard and the like. They're all involved in this company. They believed in what they're doing. So I want to believe also that some of the assets left, some of the intellectual property left from pursuing this metabolic acidosis and Veverimer and all that stuff, it will be something that any other entities, other organizations, other pharmaceutical companies, or other biotech companies will deem usable, to probably buy and see what they can make of it. So, but in any case, we have also noticed that as of Tuesday, the 22nd of November, Alpern Robert J disclosed that he has disposed of 27,584 shares at $0.23. Okay, that would have been sometime earlier than that, $0.23. Let's see when it was trading at such levels. That will be not long ago, as a matter of fact. Maybe sometime 0.23 will be sometime much earlier in November, at least the first half of November. That was probably when he disposed of those shares, and he netted 131,879. So he is a board member. You can see him here, Robert J. Alpern. He is the dean. He's also the dean and professor at Yale School of Medicine. So he disposed of 131,879 shares, and indeed there may be other insiders disposing of their shares, indicating that maybe they are not seeing very much left. They are not hanging around that much. That may not be a conclusion of what it is, but yes, so far, let's see whether we can see any more from 4 dispositions here. Okay, on the 2 days after that, we also saw that VHCP Co-Investment Holding LC, or did they dispose of? They disposed. Let's find out what they disposed of. Okay, they all disposed. You can see 8 million, 6 million, 3.71 million. Okay, so these are all that Venrock Healthcare Capital Partners LLP. Okay, they sold more than 17, I would say up to 18 million shares at roughly, on average, I would say on the average $0.55, right about the sort of price where it closed out on the 24th of October. So that's what's going on, and and we also know that the short interest is currently at 38.09%. Okay, and yes, so that amongst other things, the prospect, I think what market participants are observing now, what they are looking out for right now is that given this short interest there, and also the fact that, I want to believe that they also, just as I pointed out earlier on, there's something in the assets, that something can still be salvaged from the company. Its intellectual property is something, the technology it used to pursue this metabolic acidosis research and the development of Veverimer, where it is up to right now, is something. So given the prospect of that being sold, and indeed other assets we don't know about, and also this short interest, when you combine that, the news of such a transaction will definitely force short sellers to definitely close some of their positions. So we're going to see some aggression, which will ultimately turn out into a short squeeze. These are possibilities, but there's no guarantee that will be the case. So prospective buyers, and they'll be negotiating with creditors. We also know that about a few days before that FDA announcement came out concerning its the drug not meeting its endpoint, they also borrowed some money, some huge, I believe, some hundreds of millions of dollars. So they'll be negotiating with creditors and other stuff, to see what can be done, what can be salvaged from this company. And right now, the possible buyers, they're in a position of strength. They'll be negotiating at, I wouldn't say the current price where it is at right now, $0.19. They'll probably not be negotiating at that, something slightly higher than that, but most certainly not something at the sort of levels we saw it when that before that news came out, $10 and some fraction. But at the same time as well, the company can also, I don't know if they'll be able to also point out that the trend was a strongly bullish one, but that's the past. I'm trying to point out, it's the past now. It's the past. Everything, that bullish trend was rested strictly on the hope that Veverimer, and indeed the what is it called again, the metabolic acidosis and CKD research will yield something, but it didn't yield anything. So, but in any case, the combination of that and the possibility of something coming out of that, then something positive, and like I said, they'll be negotiating at a price that is definitely higher than 0.193, something that, at least something, the whole numbers, something at that sort of at those sort of levels, So that's probably where they should be negotiating at, and if anything comes out, it will definitely lead to something, a short squeeze for sure. So going by what's been going on over the last trading sessions, things has been going on. It's been quite volatile. Most certainly, you can see that. You can see what looks like a short squeeze here, what looks like a shortened, because I wouldn't say this is a short squeeze. Straight to okay, well, let's see now. Going by what happened as of when the market opened a few minutes into the session, it reached this low of 0.228, and probably what started to build up into a possible short squeeze or something like that. But some aggression now ensued, and it spiked all the way up to $0.282, and we also now saw yet more aggression. And definitely this is also what looks like a short transactions. It was aggressively selling the stock at this high of $0.31. So short sellers are definitely in effect. You can see that this is a very good example of that, a sharp spike and a sharp retracement, so definitely of late, at least over the last 10 trading sessions, short sellers are still there. We can even still see that as of the 23rd, that was the last trading session, they were definitely there. You can see aggressively selling, but at the same time, we don't think it has reached the bottom yet. You can see the volume hasn't bottomed out. The volume is still very much a strong one. And also interestingly as well, on this 10-day chart, it is indicating that the stock is totally oversold, and also that is also the case on the daily chart. It's oversold as well. The momentum is indicating that the stock is oversold. You can see that as well. And we know that also what happens in an oversold condition is that the reverse is usually the case. It will come out of that, and there might be some buying there. So given all that is going on right now with TCDA, we have no targets or anything like that. We had upper projections of around 3 points, but that's really ambitious. Who knows, they could be negotiating to sell the shares of the company at those sort of levels, $3 and some fraction. I'm just speculating, but in any case, there's no guarantee that's going to happen. There's no guarantee that's going to happen. But at the same time as well, just thinking about it again, the drug didn't meet probably Veverimer didn't meet the endpoint, and the company is probably trying to end it there and stop the whole thing. But at the same time, a possible buyer might say, we can try a different step, we can try a different direction, all hope is not lost and all that stuff. So these are the sort of things the company can. I'm coming back again to something I've already said. These are the sort of things the company can point out that there's still hope for anybody who wants to buy the company, who wants to buy buy up the company and its liabilities and all that stuff. It can continue from where it stopped. Which is how would I say it now? Much better as against trying to cut away with the assets and try to use it in other things. But indeed, that's also another alternative. So indeed, they can always continue from where they stopped, and indeed also use it from it. So there is just some potential there. There's a potential there. But don't say that I said it's going to be around $3 or anything like that. But just $3, just the upward projection we had, and that is strictly technical, has nothing to do with fundamentals. So in any case, the combination of a possible buyer and the company and the short interest we have there, $38.083, $38.09, is something, and that is, it has continued to interest buyers. It has continued to interest market participants, and that's why the ball is still there. It hasn't died off. It hasn't died off, even though the stock has lost 50% of its value. Going from being strongly bullish into rallying within a longer term bearish trend. So maybe something might come out. But at the same time as well, I can see why the stock hasn't lost its buzz, apart from this is something that there's a bloodbath going on here right now with the stock. So where everybody's exiting, or short sellers are making the most of what's going on. At the same time, it's also has opened up opportunities for or has opened up buying opportunities. So it is only for the brave. So if you want to get involved, do so with phones you can always afford to miss, or always afford to lose. Okay, so I'm not recommending that you buy TCDA stock, but you know, some market participants see opportunities here. That is strictly the point, you know. So thank you very much for watching this video.